Lecture. What does it feel like to be Rodion Raskolnikov? A story with an X. In early July, during an extremely hot time, I took my group of American students for a walking tour around the sites of crime and punishment. I was talking about something, and the students were listening. We were slowly moving toward the house of the novel's main character, Raskolnikov. The day was stuffy and hot. It was just like in the novel. And suddenly, we saw a street stand, and behind the stand counter, there was a red-headed, bad man selling watermelons. And most importantly, a huge axe was lying right on the counter. Wasn't it with his axe that our hero had killed the old pawnbroker? The small detail instantly changed the whole range of events. The weird episode literally turned everything around. Now it was interesting to listen, to watch, to think. All in all, the tour was a great success. And we remembered that story for a long time. The tour was Dostoevsky, Petersburg. On the way back, we bought a watermelon from the man and took a picture with him and his axe. Let's touch on some literary trends a little bit. We see two lines of development in Russian literature in the second half of the 19th century. The first one is a harmonic line. It only offers the familiar and the regular. The second one is a disharmonic line. What does the writer do here? He destroys our usual themes with unpresented impressions, illusions of plausibility and dissociations of meanings. He makes us look for new connections of feelings, events and experiences in the world. He makes us understand what is life and what it is resemblance. To the second life certainly belongs Mr. Dostoevsky, along with Mr. Gogol and Mr. Leskov. So, the year 1866. The novel Crime and Punishment. The new European novel. One of the greatest phenomena in the history of a new European literature. So, now let's talk about the novel. I have absolutely no intention of retelling its contents. Many people think it's a detective story. However, this is so much far from a detective story. It's as simple as that. The poor student walked 730 paces from his house to the old pawnbroker's house, killed her and robbed her. This is called the arithmetic of murder. No one dares to, but does he? But he is not an ordinary criminal. He is not an anti-hero. He is not debunked in the novel. Actually, he is a criminal theorist. He murdered according to the theory. And he even wrote an article in a magazine. According to his theory, people can be divided into two sorts. The first one, the lowest sort, lives under the usual human morality, the Christian principle of thou shalt not kill. So you and I, we ordinary people, belong to this sort. I do hope so. The other sort, the lawmakers of mankind, are designed to break the mood in some sphere. Raskolnikov mentions Mohammed, the founder of Islam, the military commander Napoleon, and the scientists Newton and Kepler. These people are lifted above ordinary people. They conform with different laws. An extraordinary person has the right of his conscience to step over other obstacles if he is required to fulfill his idea. However, salvatory for the whole mankind it may be. What a terror! It is a permission for blood for the reasons of conscience. This algebraic theory of the chosen person becomes the main reason for the murder of the old pawnbroker. She gives money under the interest for the pawned things. He kills and tests his theory in practice. However, out of fear of being caught murdering, he actually kills one more person, Lisaveta, the pawnbroker's sister. She also falls under Raskolnikov's axe. Is he a lucky murderer or an unlucky murderer? A man is the king in his house, but he didn't take this circumstance into his calculation, and he was unable to use the money either. He did it all under a rock. So, who is he? This 23-year-old man, amazingly good-looking, slim and well-built, is just handsome, with a slogan, «Assez cause». Enough talking, Dostoevsky's favorite expression, he performs this murder. These are the words of Vatrin, who took a new name, Abbé Carlos Herrera, also known as Jacques Collin, which is his real name, from the novel Scenes from Parisian Life in the Human Comedy by Honoré de Balzac. Who is he, this Vatrin? An escaped convict nicknamed Cheat's Death, posing as a Spanish, the teacher of Eugene de Rastignac, a murderer. Raskolnikov resembles him in some ways, and in other ways he doesn't. He brought the slogan into action. And what's next? And then the real suffering begins. He, our hero, has cut himself off from the rest of the world with scissors. He is a murderer. He has stepped over, and there is no going back. Or is there? This is where the main problem of the path to self lies. Is there such a path at all? Questions. The reader knows who killed and why. Does the novel's hero know who he has killed? That's a mystery for the hero. To make it easier to unravel the crime story in the novel, Raskolnikov's doppelganger, Arkady Svidrigailov, appears as a distorted, exaggerated mirror of the central character. He has gone much further down Raskolnikov's path. For him, there is no painful problem of the good and the evil, no deed which would terrify him, which he could call a crime. He brings his wife to death, rapes a child, a girl who then takes her own life, and stalks Raskolnikov's sister Dunya. But he also does good. He is a magical helper. He plays a deus ex machina. He helps everybody, saves everybody, gives everybody the money, lots of money. He offers Raskolnikov to flee with him to America. Together we are force, we can do such things, you and I, he says. This American dream becomes a metaphor for suicide. The hero lives for America forever, when it is no longer possible to change anything. I do not know if Nick Cave read the novel Crime and Punishment, but I heard this song, Red Right Hand. I was just stunned by the similarity of the hero of the song with Svidrigailov. Take a little walk to the edge of town and go across the tracks. where the viaduct looms like a bird of doom at the shifts and cracks, where secrets lie in the border fires, in the humming white. Hey man, you know you're never coming back. Past the square, past the bridge, past the mills, past the stacks. On a gathering storm comes a tall, handsome man in a dusty black coat with the red right hand. What can revive our hero? Move him back from that fatal line, beyond which lies the abyss, the void. Only love. Sonia, hope, the most unfeasible one. The hero's actions, beginning with his theory, are dictated by a frantic, out-of-control mind. Raskolnikov needs not so much a crime investigator as a psychiatrist, as Vladimir Nabokov said. Sonia lives with her heart, her soul, her feelings. Raskolnikov doesn't believe in the future, life. He got 7 years of hard labor in exile for his crime. That's his punishment. Sonia only lives by faith and love. But it is Sonia who saves Raskolnikov. Raskolnikov confesses to the crime but doesn't repent of the idea. This is the key to the puzzle. And what is the puzzle? So, can a person be Rodion Raskolnikov? My answer is no. Neither in theory nor in practice, neither arithmetic nor algebra. This is not the way to test oneself. The worst thing is when a person positions himself above conscience, above moral human laws. And here is an example. The great musician John Lennon was murdered by the previously unknown Mark David Chapman. It happened on December 8, 1980. The line is interrupted by Chapman's shot. Lennon's music is blasted with shot. Raskolnikov didn't kill because he is a bad guy. He killed because he is a human being in general. He broke the law. He did. Do you believe that a society built on truth is possible? The law is a court of justice. And the court is unjust. It judges external things, the actions, and not the internal things, the soul. The human heart is a mystery, endless psychological sketches. Therefore, only the criminal can judge himself. That is what the last judgment is. That is, crime is unavoidable fate, and realization of a free individual is a metaphysical basic of a person. There is no way to avoid crime, but one can overcome it. But some people overcome it, and some don't. In a criminal, Dostoevsky looks for a human. But there is one strange thing. In Crime and Punishment, the ending, there is no reason for Raskolnikov to turn himself in. The trial ends up with nothing. I don't know what I am going to betray myself for. The author does know. He has found a way out of the trap into which he has driven Raskolnikov. Raskolnikov shouts to his sister, "I'll still prove it. You'll hear my name." Again. And quite unexpectedly, for all of us, we suddenly learn that Raskolnikov has a tremendous literary talent. He may be a future writer. At least that's what his mother dreams of his future as a future writer. Was it not himself that Dostoevsky saw in the condemned and forgiven Raskolnikov? Does Raskolnikov have a future? What do you think? I think he does. He will solve the contradiction between the one and the universal. His trial will end with him understanding everything and accepting everyone. Just like at the last judgment the drunken Marmeladov was talking about. Then we'll understand everything and everyone will understand. But for this, a great human feat must be paid. For the whole world, Dostoevsky's novel is not so much a way of understanding Russia or the mysterious Russian soul, as it is a path of self-discovery that people follow regardless of the place and time where they were born and where they live. Dostoevsky doesn't seek to provide answers to the eternal questions of humanity. It is important to ask these questions. And the last word about the world is not yet spoken. It is open and free, just as we are open to learning this world. And finally, the conclusion, my final thoughts. Why even now do people who are imprisoned for a long time start reading Dostoevsky? I guess they're trying to see themselves as human beings, not criminals. That's it. Thank you for your attention.